Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who might be new here, my name is Dave. This is Scott's Toys, where we cover Lego investing, our Bricklink store, and general reselling. This particular episode, we're going to be covering the Lego investing side of everything, and specifically we're going to talk a little bit about storage and how big of a problem it can become. Trying to work through some things, felt like I might as well share it with all of you. We're also going to go ahead and answer a viewer submitted question, and we're going to round things out this week by talking about the sales from last week. But before we jump into things, really appreciate it if you could go ahead, click on that like button below, make sure to click on the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and try and leave us a question at the end of the episode with something that you're curious about, and you may be featured in an upcoming episode where we answer your question. I really appreciate your support. It means so much to me. Let's go ahead and get into the storage issue. Lego storage. It can be a huge issue when you're getting really heavy into Lego investing. So you can see a lot of the stuff that I have behind me right now. I've got a bunch of these shelves. They are packed pretty much to the brim at the moment. Now, there are a couple things that I would recommend you keep in mind when you're considering where and how to store your Lego sets. Originally, when I was getting into it, I basically made a stack. I had a section of the basement where I just stacked them one on top of the other, piled them high because I needed to condense that space as much as possible. Now, what you end up having issues with is you get some box damage. Some of those boxes end up getting really heavy and they start to squish the boxes on the bottom, which really isn't good because you're going to tend to want to put your large sets at the bottom. And so therefore your larger, more expensive sets are going to be the ones more likely to be damaged. And I've suffered a couple losses there, had to end up parting out a few sets that I didn't necessarily want to, but I just couldn't feasibly sell it with a box as crushed as it was. So I ended up picking up these shelves, and that's what I have now. I ended up storing them on here. I spaced out the shelves just big enough so I could get a reasonable size set on each of the shelves, and I could end up going however many deep. These shelves are basically 2 foot deep, 4 foot wide, and I believe they're 8 foot tall. So I am using the top of it for the really large shelves. That was recommended just because you don't have a shelf above it, so why take up that space when you can just take up more of the vertical space? Vertical space ends up being something that I think is key to using if you really want to condense, right? Floor space is the premium, specifically in a basement or in your home, and therefore the more of the vertical space that you can use, the better off you're going to be, and that's where the shelves come in. The shelves allow you to utilize that vertical space without causing damage to your sets on the lower areas. That's one thing. Another thing to keep in mind is the temperature. I'm a huge fan of ensuring that my Lego that I'm keeping for Lego investing are stored in a cool, non-damp place. I don't think that extreme colds would necessarily hurt it if you're storing them outside in a garage or in an attic. However, the extreme heat and humidity will definitely do a ton of damage. I've heard stories of bricks actually melting, and I don't know if that's just particular states that get up to really high temperatures. I've never had experience with that. However, one issue I have had with high humidity, and it came just through transporting some of the sets home, is what you'll end up having is the Lego pieces of tape that keep these sets sealed. The high humidity and heat will cause those to pop open. And once it's popped open, I don't feel like you can sell that set as new sealed in box. Anytime I've had a seal break, instantly it's turned into an open box item. I do sell it new open box, but I also don't think that it's fair to say that it's now a used set just because the seals are done. I think as long as you're very clear about it, you can still sell it on some marketplaces with a lot of success. Your shelving systems are really expensive, and therefore you're going to be a little more limited, I think, in what you can do with those. So what I would also recommend doing is packaging your items back in the boxes that you ordered them in. Not necessarily one in a set, so you can stay away from the smaller boxes. However, let me show you. All right, so as you can see here, I have 2 boxes that are already pre-packed. These are just some standard boxes. I didn't actually keep these. These are part of my shipping boxes. However, they worked perfectly for storing a couple of these sets. So I believe one of these has the Sith Trooper Battle Pack and the other one has a Mandalorian Battle Pack. I very nicely fit 8 of each in one of these boxes. And now I can keep them and I can stack them a little higher because they end up having the reinforcement by the box. In addition, when it comes time to list these things, I don't necessarily have to take each of these items out of the box until I'm ready, right? This here is a new way that I have started packing some of my sets to get them off the shelves when I know that they're going to need to sit and bake for a lot longer, right? Not all of your inventory has to be accessible all the time. If it's a long-term storage item, be okay getting it stored away in a more long-term storage solution. We're going to go ahead and do one more item to round this out so we can kind of have a 5 tips for Lego storage related to your Lego investing hobby. And that last tip is going to be to have some kind of a system to track them. So you can see I got all these shelves, and if I had to look for an item on a random shelf, it would be really hard to find, right? If I get a call from someone who says, hey, how many Harry Potter trains do you have? I don't want to have to walk over here and actually dig through all the shelves. So what I use for that is Brickstock. Brickstock is the program that I use to upload my part out inventory to my Bricklink store. But in addition, what I've done is I've decided to make individual files that you save away. I get them stored in a cloud-based drive. I add all the sets specifically for different areas. So for instance, I have this shelf here is actually called shelf 3 in my system. And therefore all the inventory that I have stored on that shelf, I have stored in that one file so that if I get a question, I will go to that one file where I know that Harry Potter sets are stored in, and I can look in there to decide what my current inventory is so that I can answer those questions and make better decisions when I'm trying to figure out what to ship to Amazon. That's my top 5 list, I guess, of things to consider when you're doing Lego investing storage. Let me know in the comments below if there's something else that you consider relative to your Lego storage, or if there's something that you disagree with, let me know that as well, because maybe there's something better than what I'm doing.
So this question comes to us via Instagram from Maniac for Bricks Official. Hi Joey, thanks for your question. Joey asks, what is the one set you regret not buying? And I had to actually think about this one a little bit, and I did remember one set that stands out kind of above the rest, which is the old Lego Creator modular Fire Brigade set. Now, I wasn't into Lego at the time that the set released. However, I did have an opportunity, and I don't remember if it was Brick Fair, Virginia or Philadelphia Brick Fest, but I did have the option to purchase a sealed Fire Brigade modular building. I think it was for $350. And looking at it now, I kind of wish that I'd have gone back and purchased it. I believe the set is now up to over $600. And the modular buildings are really kind of one of the things that I still have a passion for collecting myself. So missed opportunity. Going back in time, yes, I would have bought that. But sometimes you just don't have the funds or the knowledge to know that now's the time. A couple other sets maybe real quick to mention would be Old Fishing Store. I have 1 copy, but for the Lego investment side, I wish I would have bought dozens of that set while it was out. Going back, there were the Brickhead sets that were very much themed. Saw them all the time, the Minecraft ones, the Steve and Creeper set. That one now retails, I think, for $80, which is absurd considering it had a $15 price in stores or $16 somewhere around there. The last set that's worth noting isn't actually a set, but is instead a coin. So if you are familiar with the VIP system, you know that recently Lego has been releasing all these collectible coins. I missed out on the first two of the coins, which is the Lego Castle coin and Lego Pirate coin, both of which had a very limited purchase window, and immediately afterwards the value of those coins went through the roof. So going back, I wish I would have seen the coins and identified that even if I didn't necessarily care for them for myself, they are a super collectible item, and I probably should have made a point to collect all of them in the set. Unfortunately, hindsight's always going to be 20/20. So thanks, Joey, for your question. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so we're just going to round things out. This part's going to be really quick. We're going to recap the sales for last week. We sold one set, folks. It has been a very slow week. My Amazon inventory is basically down under 10 items, I believe. I've been talking about it a little bit here that I need to make that a priority, but I'm doing a lot of juggling of a lot of different things, and it hasn't been the priority yet. I do still have some stuff that hopefully will funnel out through eBay and Facebook. However, last week I sold one set, Lego Juniors Zane Boat, set number 10755, sold it for $47.99. It's a particular set that cost me $12. I had referral fees of $7.20 and an FBA fee of $3.48, which gave me a total net profit of $25.31. And since that's the only item I sold this week, that's pretty much the sales summary overall. But that's it for this week. Next week, fingers crossed, we'll have a better week. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please do remember to go ahead and leave us a comment below. Ask us a question so that we can answer those in an upcoming episode. So thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.